Hi, I'm Rashanah Baldwin, a journalist, a Chicagoan, and a millennial bringing light to everyday stories that matter. I share the type of stories that mainstream media ignores or gets wrong. The news of the neighborhoods, the news that matters. Here is someone you need to know. Morning, how are you? Thank you for joining me, Karl Riley II, your VP of Small Business Community Lending with Fifth Third Bank. How are you doing during COVID-19? How are you doing? How is your family? I see it looks like you're in the kids' room. Is that right?
That's what you're seeing right now. I'm literally set up in my kids' room doing small business loans, PPP loans, the ones that everybody's talking about on TV, helping to finance our companies, our businesses, so they can not lay everybody off. So, yeah, I got the best place I can find is to go into one of my kids' room and set up a little office, and that's my new banking center.
Oh my God. So you're still helping to keep the local economy thriving. You're processing the PP, what is it? PPP?
Payroll protection plan. And what that is they will give you about 8 weeks of payroll for your business. And what we're trying to do is avoid people going on unemployment. So basically, if you have your 41s, we'll divide that by 3. If you have your 940s, we'll divide it by 12, and then we'll multiply by 2.5 to give you an amount. All that means is that we're going to give you some money, maybe it looks like a fourth of your payroll for the year to support yourself and pay your payroll so you don't lay everybody off, and so they can stay on health and benefits, and so you can still be in business when we reopen. So
what do you do if you are a small business to apply for PPP and haven't heard back? And is it through the SBA or is it directly through individual banks such as Fifth Third, your bank?
So it's through the individual banks, but it's backed by the SBA 100%, which is why the banks are willing to do this. It allows for us to take less risk, but we're also supporting our businesses. We have been doing this now full throttle, working from home. The whole bank is basically, half the bank is working from home. And we're just trying to, get these loans processed for the people. And we've built a pretty good online solution that allows people to apply directly with their bank. Fifth Third, I've heard 2 or 3 other banks that are doing it also, Chase and Bank of America. And, it just allows them to apply, and then we will fund them. If you haven't heard back yet from your bank, at this point, I would probably apply somewhere else. If it's me, just being honest.
Does that hurt you if you apply somewhere else because is it a small interest loan?
Yeah, 0. So it's 1% interest for 24 months. The first 6 months is no payments. So then you have 18 more months of payments at 1%. And the way it can be forgiven if you pay it out as payroll. So if you take this money and run and you go buy a car or something, then you're going to be paying back that loan over 2 years. But if you pay your payroll and you provide the proof that you did that through your Paycor, Paylocity, ADP statement, that will be given to me or a banker 4 months, 5 months from now, and that will be the proof to be able to just squash that whole loan and turn it into a grant. Whatever you don't use.
At what point do they submit that information? Do they wait until the 24 months, or when do they start submitting that information if they're currently received it and now it is using it for payroll?
Yeah, so the day that you get the funds, the clock starts. So they have 8 weeks to pay your payroll from that point. And
so correction, it's only for 8 weeks of payroll.
Yeah, only for 8 weeks.
And it's a 24-month loan. The first 6 months, no payment. The other 18 months is when you start paying.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So and then like let's say month 4 from now, 4 or 5 from now, you'll get your documents from the payroll company, and then you can provide those to the bank, and they'll submit it to SBA, and then that'll be able to waive that for you. So we're getting more information on that next week, exactly how we do it. But I've been advising everybody that needs to make sure that they use a payroll company, because I can't see them not doing that correctly. That's their job. So, but here's the thing you need to know. If you got a lot of 1099 employees, you can only apply for yourself, right? is that you're the employee. The rest of them are just contractors. They need to apply on their own for their loan.
I was just about to ask that question. So if you are a 1099 employee, which that means you may be a sole proprietor.
Yeah.
Do you have to be in business for so long? Do you have to have been in business since 2019?
So what has been getting approved is they want to see your W-3s, your 940s, your 941s, which means what? You got to have been in business 2019. That's a nice soft way of saying it. The rule says February 15th, 2020 is when the business has to be in around from. What I've been doing, I guess if you've been in business only since January, you may have your 941 done. It's a document that you use to pay your employees. At this point, you might have it done. Your CPA can provide it for you.
Now, what if you're only one employee? This is a unique situation. You're one employee, you're the owner, but I guess you're gonna W-2 yourself.
So you can get up. This is a good question. So your max salary is $100,000 for this program. Divide that by 12, that's $8,333 a month. So that one employee situation, the most that they can get, if they can prove it, is $8,333 a month. Times it by 2.5 will give you about $23,000 or 22. I got to do the numbers on that, but just $22,000 to $23,000 loan.
But wait a minute, pause on that. It's the paperwork, because some people may not know the 940 is showing that you're doing payroll taxes, right?
Yep.
Unique situation. I know people who are considering themselves, they're the owner, but they're the employee. So they may be just the one employee of their own business. And you said February, you have to have been in business 2020. So what if you were in December, January, and you didn't do that 940 because you haven't did any payroll yet?
This is time to do
payroll, but you just W-2'd yourself. You're just putting yourself on payroll.
This is the time to get organized. So I would recommend there you go. The phones are coming again. All right. So I would recommend that you talk to your CPA. If you can't get in front of your CPA, go to QuickBooks and set up everything you need to do on QuickBooks and get you some documentation that shows that you paid yourself. And that way you can try to participate in this. Another thing they're doing, which has worked also, is they will give you, if you have your 2019 tax returns, they'll give you your net income, whatever's left on the bottom after all your expenses. Divide that by 12. That's what your monthly pay would be. And then times it by 2.5. They'll give you that number. So, if you really don't have the time to do all the paperwork the right way, you could get a small amount. And that's through just providing your 2019 business or Schedule C or whatever you got and trying to do it that way. Attorneys, you guys got partnership agreements. I just saw one got approved. I thought he was not going to get approved. He got approved. He sent it. So, it's just having your documentation order. So
what is the new normal for the banking industry? You're at home because you are a lender. You're doing a lender.
Yeah.
What is the new normal for the overall banking industry? I know you can't go into the bank, or can you go into the bank, or do you have to do everything through the window? What if it's somewhat of an emergency, I guess a financial emergency, and you need to become a beneficiary on a bank account, or you have theft of identity? What do you do?
All right, so I salute and applaud my partners in the branches. They have closed the lobbies, but you can set up an appointment with them, right? So if you go on to fifththird.com and you can pick your local branch and then set an appointment and a time to come in. They're trying to control the flow. Just because I've had 4 colleagues that got sick with COVID already and they recovered. But you can imagine that just a regular influx of people coming in is just too much. So you can set an appointment with the banker branch, and they'll let you come in and they'll let you go through your stuff, whatever it is. The new normal as of right now is, like I said, 50% of us are working from home. I'm literally working in my kid's room.
I see that nice Lion King poster behind you.
We go to Africa once a year. This is the kids. So, that the hours have been, blessing has been longer. I'm just trying to get as many people funded as possible in the community, because a lot of times we don't have access to these things. I know about it, so I've been on a bunch of conference calls, a bunch of videos. If you got a request, I'm going to give you my work cell phone number. You can text me on the work cell phone number if you watch this video, and then I will respond back to you. If you text me your email address, I will respond back to you with the application, which is a way I can control the flow of this thing. Because
and this is only for Illinois, correct?
No. I've
so
helped
you
people,
can process anyone.
I've helped people in Atlanta, Cali, Florida. It's just a matter of you having a bank account with Fifth Third.
Okay.
So we have to know your customer, KYC. We don't want any fraud. It's going to be fraud. People are going to create things and then try to submit them. What's going to happen is that you're going to deal with the U.S. government afterwards, and they will do due diligence to verify if your company is legit. But my phone number is 312-757-0098. Again, 312-757-0098. And you can text me your email address, and I will forward you the application. Once the funds run out, they run out. But if you want to have success, please provide your W-3, 940 or 941 for 2019. If you want to get declined, send me anything else.
I know, and I won't hold you much longer, but I have one or two more questions. Here in the state of Illinois, which we both are in, we believe that our shelter in place is supposed to end the end of May. That's according to Governor Pritzker. If he decides to open, completely remove the state, we know he's doing phases. Has Fifth Third given you all any new protocols on how you will proceed once outside opens back up? Have they given any suggestions or recommendations when they start letting people in person?
I'm not the expert on it. There's been some emails that have been sent to me. They're still working through their process. They are going to they're giving everybody a mask. We've got 2 a day. They are going to allow fewer people into the branches. I know it's going to be frustrating. People need to remember that we're trying to protect everybody's health. This is a beautiful time to set up your online banking. This is a great time to have a relationship through a branch manager that you can email to get things done. Banking is digital. It has been digital for a long time. This is going to make it more digital. So, we are putting up, there's going to be some separating glasses and stuff, which is going to kind of feel a lot like the corner store.
Businesses, has the banks taken any hits, any downfalls? Because I know businesses are, and you are helping businesses to not close doors. What about the banks?
The banks are trying to do their best to support, and they're doing well to support the community. I found that our bank is definitely interested in trying to get as many customers supported as possible, right? Regardless of all of the resources we have, not just the PPP, not just the EIDL, which is through the SBA.gov, not just through all the city grants. I think recently Fifth Third was partnering with Action to support a grant program. So we're all just trying to do our part to help the community. All our branches, as I know of right now, are the lobbies are closed, but the drive-throughs are open. The ATMs are good, and there's nothing to worry about. Everything's fine. It's just that you have to make sure that you protect your health. So wear your mask when you come in. We'll be wearing ours, and let's try to get home to our families healthy. So,
last question: how are you feeling, and what is the morale around the banking industry?
So it's been a rough 4 or 5 weeks with creating a system to process these PPP loans. I've talked to bankers at different banks. I talked to Chase. I talked to BMO. I've talked to people at PNC. A lot of us are being worked right now, which is important because we need to make sure you guys get what you need. So have patience with us. Follow up. Be nice. Nice people tend to get a lot of what they want very quickly. So charm us, but also follow up and make sure you get your stuff done. Because
after we come out of this, and I promise you, I'm gonna let you go because I know you have to get back to your kids and processing those loans. Do you see any banks merging after this? After we come out of this, coming together, because you banks need help and assistance as well.
Yeah. I think that that there may be smaller banks that will want to take advantage of our scale. There's a lot of pressure on them to support. It was cool in the beginning; they could do 10, 15 applications and get it in. be Superman for those 10 or 15 applications. But, you know, the medium to bigger size banks, we got like 30,000 applications through. I mean, it's like second wave was somewhere over $3 or $4 billion worth of funding. So here's an idea. Maybe the smaller banks and some of these big banks will consolidate, but as a business owner, please have 2 to 3 relationships. All right.
With different banks.
With different banks. Don't feel like, you know, and that's just weird for me to say it, but I would say, you know, who is the business bank in your community.
Okay.
And if you're a global person, a global citizen, like to travel the world, and you need to have access to your accounts globally, cool. That's good. Big bank, global money. But when it comes to small business, you may need to have a relationship with a bank that actually does small business lending.
Are you referring to like community banks?
Community banks are cool. Fifth Third's cool. 2 or 3 other medium-sized regional banks that are good to have. So I would just say that you need to ask your banker, what can they do for you?
Okay.
And stop wasting all this time knowing just the tellers, but like get to know the branch managers, get to know the bankers, and really explain what your business is so that way you can get resources.
Okay.
People have been married to these bank accounts because they've been around for 30 years and they've been using this bank for 30. Well, what has that bank done for you?
Exactly. Thank you. Final thoughts from you to customers out here, you know, people like myself. Should I be using my money to go shopping on Amazon? What should I be doing?
I like the idea of retaining cash right now.
Okay.
So what I would do, what I am doing, if you have any debt that you need to have a conversation with your bank about, you know, make sure that you communicate with the car notes, a house, about what you can do during this time. It may be wise to retain some cash, so you may be able to get into some sort of agreement, forbearance agreement. I would also say that things that you cannot go to, you should cut, aka gym. You know, there's parts of your budget that you can find some savings in. I would say that you need to make sure your beneficiaries are updated on all your accounts. If you've been in a relationship in the past and you've got other people on your stuff, go through and get those things updated in case you get sick. You also need to have a conversation with your relatives who don't like to answer the phone. You know, those people that you got to call and come
Right.
plan for how to verify they're alive. Because, you know, I mean, it's just a lot of stress. But, you know, this is going to pass, guys. And you need to build yourself up. So that means work out. I've been doing 50 push-ups every morning, and then I've been hitting the hills on purpose. Hills are good for building your lungs. So I've been doing 10 up and down the hills, sprints, just to kind of make sure that my lung capacity is strong. So just, you know, take care of yourself, what matters, and give your partners, whoever you're dealing with, your people around you, space as much as you can.
Absolutely.
They may be dealing with something they never felt like they could deal with before. So just literally just give them some space. And if they want to yell and talk, let them talk. Don't argue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That space is needed when you're in the house every single day. Thank you, Karl Riley II of Fifth Third Bank. I'm going to let you get back to processing those loans and helping us consumers out. Thank you so much. Please stay safe. And God bless you.
God bless you too. Thanks for everything you're doing. Appreciate it.
All righty. Bye.